Want to see more cool videos on our channel? We do, so press this bell and enable to send notifications.
Majestic mountains and sparkling seas always attract travelers, but there are plenty of crazy happenings in the nature that are enough to make you bite your own teeth. Here are the top 10 amazing and rare natural phenomena that happened on Earth. Number 10. Red crab migration. Once a year, something incredible happens on Christmas Island. Around 50 million red crabs, Gecarcoidea natalis, are estimated to live on Christmas Island, located in the Indian Ocean off the northwestern coast of Australia, which it is part of. Between October and December, at the beginning of the wet season, these animals start an incredible journey across the island, leaving their homes in the inland to go to the seaside and lay their eggs. The migration begins when adult crabs leave their burrows in the dense jungle and walk to the beach, dipping in the ocean to replenish body salts. Male crabs dig burrows in the sand, which they defend from other crabs while they try to mate with the females, then migrate back home while the females stay with their eggs. After 2 to 3 weeks, the female crabs put their eggs into the ocean and start their own return journey while the eggs hatch into the water as larvae. Some years, very few or none of the baby crabs will emerge alive from the ocean about 4 weeks later. The tiny creatures turned beaches red before slowly progressing across the island, crossing roads and meandering around houses until they link up with the adults. 4 years later, the crabs are ready to make their own migration to the beach to mate and begin the life cycle all over again. All phases of the migration are popular tourist attractions, with visitors timing their travel to coincide with it to see the unique sight. Number 9. New island formation. All continents, seas, and islands emerged a long time ago, so now we can't really witness nature creating something new. Or can we? You have probably heard that volcanic islands emerge above the water's surface following the eruption of an underwater volcano. This is actually how Iceland was created. And now something similar is happening in the Cabocha volcano. This is one of the most active underwater volcanoes in the southwest of the Pacific Ocean. The volcano went above and below the sea level 8 times since the first reported eruption in 1939. During the eruption in 2003, a 15-meter island was formed, though it quickly submerged back into the sea. Scientists are now closely monitoring Karachi and expect that one day a real island will emerge there. The first one in the modern history of mankind. Number 8. Ice disk. Like an icy lazy Susan, a wintry carousel, a frozen spinning wheel. It takes a little more than an ice disk to capture public attention and imagination. One such ice disk befell the town of Westbrook, Maine, slowly churning to life in the Presumpscot River that runs through the town's urban developments. The Herald estimates the ice disk to be 300 feet wide, one of the largest of its kind, but certainly not the first. The captivating natural oddity has drawn comparison to an alien spacecraft, a carousel, and the moon. Researchers believe ice disks spin because of temperature changes in the water, creating a vortex underneath. Ice disks have been spotted everywhere, from Russia to Washington. The swirling plates are a happy accident of nature and are almost always perfectly round. A 1997 paper in the Royal Meteorological Society theorized that river water created a whirlpool effect around a chunk of ice, slowly eroding it until its edges were perfectly smooth and circular. Number 7. Volcanic lightning. When hot molten rock pushes its way up through the Earth's crust and exits through the surface, it often results in a volcanic eruption. These eruptions sometimes occur via slow and steady flows, but often show themselves in huge bursts of activity. When this latter case happens, a large amount of ash, dust, rock, volatile gases, and lava are all expelled in a very short period of time. While we might think of these as the major features of a volcano, there's often a magnificent visual sight that accompanies these: volcanic lightning. Although not every eruption will produce this stunning light show, it's been observed and recorded by humans for countless generations. Now, with our advanced understanding of physics and the physical sciences, we finally understand how it's produced. Number 6. Abraham Lake. On the North Saskatchewan River in Alberta, Canada, the TransAlta Corporation began construction of the Bighorn Dam in 1972, creating along with it Abraham Lake, Alberta's largest man-made lake. Despite being artificial, Abraham Lake still resembles other glacial lakes in the region, with a distinctive turquoise water that is caused by sediments of glacial erosion entering the lake, giving it a unique coloring. However, it's neither the size nor the beautiful blue waters that have caused an increase in visitors to the lake in recent years. Abraham Lake's main attraction comes during the winter months, when methane bubbles become trapped below the surface of the lake and freeze, creating crystal-like formations under the surface. The beauty of these natural formations has drawn many amateur photographers to the area, hoping to capture the stunning scenery. Number 5. Never-ending lightning storm. In western Venezuela, over the Catatumbo River, there is a storm that never ceases. Starting at 7 p.m. every night, lightning crashes over the water for 10 hours every night, 260 nights each year. Nobody knows for sure why it happens. Up until recently, the leading theory was that it had something to do with uranium in the bedrock, although scientists are starting to doubt it. Today, the leading theory is a complicated one. It posits that the shape of the mountains cause warm trade winds to collide with cold air from the Andes. That collision is then fueled by the rapidly evaporating water below and methane from a nearby oil field. Nobody actually knows for sure, though, why it happens. Everything about it is mysterious, including one moment in 2010 when it inexplicably stopped. One day, the storm just died down without explanation and seemed for a while to be over. Then, after 6 weeks of silence, it sparked up again and has been raging ever since. Number 4. Atacama Desert. One of the driest regions on Earth has transformed nearly overnight from a sparse desert into a beautiful garden of many colors. That's because heavy rains in mid-August have caused thousands of flowers to bloom. This periodic phenomenon in Chile's Atacama Desert is known locally as Desierto Florido, flowering desert. And while it typically only happens every 5 to 7 years, this bloom actually comes on the heels of a super bloom in 2015. Super blooms aren't unique to Atacama. They occur in deserts that contain a large number of flowers called perennials, and sometimes called ephemerals. Seeds in desert perennials often lie dormant for months or years, alive but unseen. It's only when rainwater washes the protective coating from their seeds that they begin to sprout. Number 3. Penitence. If you want the beauty of winter without having to brave the bone-chilling temperatures blasting much of the United States, snuggle into a soft blanket, grab a warm beverage, and curl up with some of these natural frozen wonders. Nieve penitent, or penitent snow, are collections of spires that resemble robed monks, or penitents. They are flattened columns of snow, wider at the base than at the tip, and can range in height from 3 to 20 feet, 1 to 6 meters. Nieve penitent tend to form in shallow valleys where the snow is deep and the sun doesn't shine at too steep an angle, said Kenneth Librecht, a physicist at the California Institute of Technology in Pasadena who studies ice crystal formation. As the snow melts, dirt gets mixed in with the runoff and collects in little pools here and there, he said. Since the dirt is darker in color than the surrounding snow, the dirty areas melt faster, and you end up digging these pits, explained Librecht. They tend to form at high altitude, he said, but other than that, no one really knows the exact conditions that are needed to form penitent snow. Number 2. The Ringing Rocks. At the top of a hill in Pennsylvania, there is a field full of strange rocks, and nobody knows why they're there. There is no higher cliffside nearby, so they couldn't have fallen through a landslide, and the natives that knew about it before European settlers arrived believed it to be a natural phenomenon. Their being there is hardly the strangest part, though. Instead, that honor goes to the sound they make when you hit them, a chiming ring that sounds almost like the cymbal on a drum kit. There are theories, but we aren't completely sure why they make this strange noise. One investigating them, though, found that they're making it on their own. When you hit a single rock, it lets out a low-frequency tone that can't be heard by human ears. But when you put them together, though, the tones interact, and that's the sound we actually hear. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please let me know by clicking the like button. Do share, write a comment, and don't forget to subscribe so that you can catch up my next video.